welcome to my channel. So I am back today with another hair video, and today I wanted to talk about hair breakage, specifically the breakage that you get around your edges and your nape. So I actually did split this up. I made notes so I don't riff, but I'm going to talk about my nape area, and then in another video I'll talk about my edges. Like I said, I did make a few notes here, but basically it's like edges and your nape area are areas that people talk a lot about within the natural hair space. Experience breakage in those areas, especially breakage from when people were wearing their hair in different styles before they went natural, and then different things while you're wearing your hair in its natural curly state that could cause thinning or breakage in those two particular areas. And aesthetically, those are like areas where people tend to be embarrassed about like having thinning or damaged hair. So just something that was on my mind, especially because I have a different relationship to my edges versus my nape area. Now, like I said, with that type of breakage in those areas, it can be caused by a whole bunch of different things. So a lot of times it's caused by certain hairstyles that we tend to wear, like really high tension hairstyles that pull on the hair in those areas, or not protecting your hair when you go to sleep with like satin or silk bonnets or pillowcases. And also the type of clothing that you wear, anything that specifically in the nape area, anything that rubs up against that area, dry that hair out, cause breakage. So as mentioned, I'm just going to talk about my nape in this particular video. Now, with my nape hair, I have like a different relationship to it, because I actually pull on my nape hair. I have always enjoyed the sensation of the hair back here being pulled, basically. So like the hair on the right side and hair on my left side. And it's just like always been a thing. So I noticed it first when I was like a kid, because this has been a thing since I was little. So when I was little, I used to wear my hair in braids like most little black girls, and when my mom would do like the base of the braid, so she'd wrap a ball or a bauble around it, occasionally with the braids in the back it would catch just the like small hairs back there, and I realized that I liked the way that felt. I like that sensation of that hair being pulled, to the point where I'm probably like one of the few people where, I was getting my hair pressed with a hot comb like every 2 weeks. And now this part of my hair, I used to be nervous about getting pressed. But my nape, I never felt like that. Like, I actually enjoyed the sensation of like the heat and the pulling back here in the nape. It's just a thing. So I always like that sensation. And as a matter of fact, a couple of years ago when I got my hair straightened for the first time since going natural, I was actually looking forward to that because it had been so long since I'd had that sensation. Yeah. So when the hair wasn't caught up in there, because like I said, that's just like, sometimes it would be like a fluke that my hair would get caught like that. When it wasn't, I would just mess with the hair back there on my own. So anybody who has those types of like tics or habits of pulling or picking, sometimes it is related to anxiety or anxiety disorders. But then for me, it was kind of related to like self-soothing, to the point where sometimes you don't realize that's what you're doing. So I used to twist the hair back there like when I was in school, and one day I twisted it into such a knot that when I got home from school, my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And she couldn't even detangle or comb it out, and she ended up having to cut it. But like, that's what I would do. I just would twirl it in my finger. Now, if I really wanted to get into it, sometimes I would use a clothespin just to kind of grab the very, very short hairs back there. So used to do that. And if you're familiar with that particular habit, I hope I don't butcher this, but it's called trichotillomania, which is the actual condition where people pull out their hair actually out of their scalp, or like their eyebrows, any other type of hair on their scalp or their body. And I don't think it's exactly that, because I have only ever pulled at the sides in my nape area, and I've never pulled my hair all the way out. I just like the sensation of pulling. So it's probably related to that, but not exactly that. And I don't pull or pick hair anywhere else. So, but the other thing too is, like, I also had a habit of picking my thumb cuticles as well. Same thing, just like the left side of my left thumb and the right side of my right thumb. But the thing I know people who have these types of habits would be familiar with is that the drier those areas are, the more prone you are to pick. So that's part of the problem with pulling at your nape. Your hair back there tends to be a different texture, tends to be rougher, tends to be drier. So that does kind of like exacerbate the urge to want to pull back there most of the time. So for me, I feel like, yeah, part of the breakage back there is probably related to different hairstyles and things that I've done with my hair, but it's mostly, I think, because I've continued to manipulate or bother that part of my hair anyway. So what ended up happening when I did my big chop is, because I wore my hair super short those first few years being natural again, that urge pretty much disappeared. So once I had a teeny weeny afro, once I had the bald fade, I didn't even think about it, because there's literally no hair back there to pull. So that pretty much was gone for like a good like 8 years or somewhere in there, where it's just like, you know, the sensation or the desire to do that is gone, because there's nothing to actually grasp or pull. And when I had my hair in a bald fade, it's kind of hard to describe how. Let me see if I can pull up a picture. If I can't pull up a picture, I will try and insert a picture. But basically, the way my barber had my hair lined up, it was like points, like like that. But it was like this weird kind of like V shape or whatever. But he put these points in. And what I noticed when I decided to grow my hair out, is that the middle section just grew right out into the rest of my hair normal, just like how the rest of my hair grew out. But the two sides, even now, if you look back there, you can kind of see where the hair did grow back, but it grew back short and separate and in that kind of area where the V shape was. So let me see if I can pull up a picture here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see. So like this part grew back fine, but these sides definitely grew back shorter than the rest of my hair. So yeah, and then of course, you know, once they grew back, that's the part of the hair, like I said, it tends to be dry, and so that's where I pick when I feel the urge. And it's funny, as I was getting ready to do this video, I've just been messing back there all day. It's like it's on my mind, so I was like, okay. So I was back there pulling. But the thing is that, you know, for some people, I know it bothers them just from like an aesthetic standpoint, like especially if you like to wear your hair pulled up like in a high puff or an updo. You don't like, or people don't like the way it looks, that like that hair is separate or that hair is coarse or whatever the case is. And I mostly wear my hair down like in a wash and go, or like I have it in twist at the moment, and so it's usually covered up. So I usually don't even think about what someone might think if they saw the nape of my hair. And when I do high puffs, I do not slick my hair down. So I put it in the puff, but I don't do a whole lot of smoothing of the hair once it's in the puff. So I really don't mind if that part is separate. Now, if I take a brush and brush it up, it will brush up and blend in, but it's not something that I really am concerned with. Now, I do sleep with satin pillowcases. I do have a satin lined bonnet that covers that area. So I do my best to protect that area and keep it moisturized. I don't specifically focus on it. I mean, I could, but I don't when I do like my wash day or apply product. But like I said, I do my best to protect that area. And I feel like I would be more concerned if the breakage was severe, because I've seen some people where it's not like, it literally is just like the little bitty part down at the bottom. Now, if it was like my entire, like the base of my head that had that much breakage, then I would be concerned. But it really is just the part that most people have at their nape, regardless of their hair type, where it just, separates and it's a different texture. And I just happen to have the habit of, I like to pull on it. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I feel about my nape area. Not really interested in like there's always like oils and things that people use on nape edges anywhere where they have breakage or hair loss. But that part of my hair, it doesn't concern me other than when I'm back there messing with it. But that's pretty much how I feel about my nape area. Now, I'm going to do another video where I talk about my edges, because that was a pain point when I realized that I had breakage and thinning there, and kind of experimented with a couple of different things to try and grow hair back there before I kind of settled on just leaving it alone. So I will do another video on that. But thanks for watching this very indulgent video of me talking about my nape hair. And I'll be back with the video about my edges.